So when we first met, you were the guy with the $1 million listing. And I was like, how old is this dude?
Yeah, it was probably around that time when we
Right
met.
around that time, right?
Yep.
How old were you?
When we listed that house, I was 20.
20.
Yep.
That's insane. And how much did the house list for and then sell for?
We listed for 1.25 and it sold for 1.1.
And if I'm remembering right, you were the one that brought the buyer into,
Yes,
right?
Yep.
That's amazing.
So
You are now tuned in with Real to Real. Are you for real? They're the real deal. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome back to another episode of Real to Real. It's been some time. We're getting the rust off today. Today we got some real estate, some realtor talk, and we have a special guest, Robby Brooks. What's going on, Robby?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Thanks for having me.
And as always, Kevin, Joey, what's up, guys?
What's up, baby?
Plugging along, man. Back at her.
That was a long sigh.
Yeah. But feels good to be back, you know.
Long week.
Yeah.
We got a little facelift in the old studio.
Oh, yeah, we did get a facelift. If you guys look to the north side, you'll see some bling on the wall.
Is this the first time we did it with this?
Very first time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the wall.
You feel
too.
special?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we did one with the wall.
Yeah, just the wall.
Yeah, just the wall.
Can you guys hear Robby? I can't hear him.
Can you guys not hear me?
I can hear you, but not as clear.
This is what happens
guys
when you
need-
take 2 months off.
You need a tech guy. Is that better?
That's better.
That's better.
That's good?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool. So, Robby, what? You're 22?
Yep.
22?
Turn
Killing
23
it?
next month.
Killing it at Keller Williams?
Yep. We
Yeah.
got 2 Keller guys versus the EXP guys.
Yeah, we'll have to arm wrestle or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Who can get who over to each brokerage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like
I'm
that.
just kidding.
I feel like that'd be a good arm wrestle. I think this is a good matchup.
Just have to tell your broker on Monday, hey, I lost an arm wrestling match.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
Sorry,
Sorry.
man.
I got a dip.
Yeah, gotta go.
Loser has to give a referral on their next deal to the other team.
Shit. Dude.
That'd be
Damn, that's
tough.
actually a good bet, but give me a couple weeks.
I've done that with lenders before. Like if you're playing golf and they take you out, you say, hey, if I miss this, I'll give you my next 3 deals.
No
But
shit.
it's usually super easy ones. So one of these days I'm going to lose and have to give you my next 3 deals.
Have you done it already?
What's that?
Have you done that already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Many, probably 4 or 5 times.
Oh,
but I
damn.
haven't missed. It's usually a 2-footer. So I'm like, hey, if I miss this,
Dude,
I'll give you the next
I
3
would
deals.
still miss that shit.
Oh, under all
Awful.
that pressure?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I think
Leave it to me.
Robby, when did we even meet? I don't know why I'm blanking.
I think we met,
Was it at a golf thing or no?
no. I met both of you guys through Matt Herp for sure.
Yeah. I
Where
just
did
don't know
we meet?
when or why.
2 summers ago, I think.
Did we meet at the Forward event?
Yeah, we met at the Forward
I know me
event,
and
yeah.
you met at the Ford event.
Yep.
You might have met Alex a little bit before that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did meet you at the Forward event, but I met you before that. No, I met you at the first Forward event. I take that back.
Oh no, yeah,
That's right.
we hung out before then.
And were you at that event?
No, I wasn't at
You're
that
not?
one.
Okay.
No, but it was
But then
you
I
guys,
did-
right? And then Herb, you guys went back to his house.
Yep. So I definitely met. I met you after that. Then
Yeah.
pretty probably a couple months after.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Damn,
It's fine.
it was a while ago.
I know. Feels
Yeah,
like
dude.
a while.
First impression was Robby is this dude. I mean, you were probably 20 or 21
I was
at the
20.
time.
Yeah, I
You're
would've
20
been
at the
20.
time.
21.
And I'm like, this cat knows everybody. You already, you knew everyone at that place, I felt like.
For sure. I feel like when I first got into real estate, people were kind of coming back to the office, and I did go to a good amount of networking events. And then I feel like last year I just stopped kind of going to a lot. But it's nice that finally we're in full backswing. So the networking events now, I feel like I know 85% of the people there.
Why'd you stop going? Just no reason, or focusing on the biz?
Yeah, probably focusing on business. I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes obviously you want to know as many realtors as possible. I think it's super important. But then you'll hit a slump where it's like, all right, I'm going to stop going to 3 of these a week. And, you get busy. And I think everyone was super busy last summer. See how it goes this summer, though.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that, because I know you're super good at networking, talking to people, using your personality. Is it safe to say that that's what's driven you to do so well so fast?
Yeah, I would say so. Just being super personable. I mean, being a realtor isn't for everyone. I know a lot of brokerages are always trying to hire people, get new faces in the door, which I think is very good. But I'm sure you guys can kind of go through your friends and know that there's a couple of people that you would never recommend to be a real estate agent. There's nothing wrong with that. There's probably something else out there that they're doing that they're super good at, but real estate wouldn't be one of those things.
Yeah, for sure.
A corporate job I don't think I would want to do, and I don't think I'd be that good. Like my brother, he does data analytics. You couldn't pay me.
Hell no, dude.
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't pay me to have a boss right now either.
No, exactly. So
It's 100% it.
yeah.
I can't.
I have had job offers, and I'm sure you guys have had some opportunities as you're going to real estate. You meet people, and it sounds appealing for sure. But then when you think of it in the big picture, I'm sure I could go get a job somewhere else and make more money at some of these sales jobs. But in the big picture, it's not worth it to me because I want to be my own boss, but also too, even I think down the road be super successful and
For
not
sure.
have to work for someone else.
Yeah.
It just gives you the opportunity. Like real estate's so cool that way that you could always pivot into something else, another business or whatever it is. So that's why I love real estate. I think it will, even if 10 years from now I'm not doing the business, something from real estate triggered me to go start something else. That's why I like it so much.
Robby, when did you start? How old were you?
I was 20. I should have been 19, but then I failed my test a couple of times. I didn't take it super seriously, and COVID hit, so then there was that huge break. So I think I got licensed June of 2020.
Oh, good stuff.
So
Nice.
we're 2.5 years?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
When were you?
Damn.
You got
That's almost 3.
almost 3 years. That's
I was just
crazy.
right before that, like right around when COVID first
Yeah.
started, like just before COVID started.
That's crazy. And were you guys still in college?
Yeah, I was still in college. I think September or November 2019 is when I got my license.
That's crazy.
So I was still in college, and I was like, I still had my internship and stuff, but I was like, I have 2 degrees. I'm not going to do anything with this, so let me have a backup plan.
What'd you get degrees in?
I had criminal justice and then psychology.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's cool. I still have a backup, if anything, but
Yeah, for sure.
sure as hell not going to use it.
No, for sure.
Hell no.
When did you
I
get
wouldn't.
licensed?
January of 2022.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's gonna be a year and a half soon, huh?
Yeah.
When did you guys feel like your
Time's
first
flying.
day of real estate actually was, though? Because, before you get licensed, you think that the day you get licensed, you'll go full
Deals
swing.
start
Not
fucking-
at
yeah.
all. I was licensed. You have to get your headshot, business cards, all that stuff. But I wouldn't say I had no idea what I was doing, but no one really gives you the playbook of
Dude,
hey, start
yeah.
here.
I had no
You have
clue.
no
my
clue.
my first deal was a listing off Workplace, like a referral.
That's awesome.
So I hopped on it, and dude,
Told
I
the
didn't
guy,
know- I didn't know
what I'm
shit.
doing. Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know a damn thing. I had my
Right.
team lead come with me. He handled it, but I mean, it was nice.
But you gotta
I'm
have
glad
to.
my first one was a list.
For sure, yeah.
So-
I wish mine was a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It always takes a while. Like those first few months are always just like, what the hell is going on?
Oh,
because
for
there's
sure.
so much to real estate, and the stuff in the classes doesn't teach you what you need to know.
And there's so much it just depends who you talk to in real estate because one guy will do something and the other guy does something totally different, but they both are top producers. So you just don't know what to do. And I think that older crowd, they'll tell you to do postcards and do all this stuff. And it might work to an extent if you farm it right, but you make so many mistakes like that first couple months.
That's what I did after my first listing. I
Yeah.
walked the whole neighborhood dropping postcards at the doors.
Did you get any more listens?
No.
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 Nothing.
No, nothing, dude.
I feel like the only thing that would potentially work is if you lost out on an offer and went door to door with an offer with your buyer and said hey,
Yeah.
trying to make an offer. That's the only one that I think because it's face to face. But the postcards of hey, I'm a realtor in your neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they've already seen that,
Oh.
or they know.
How many times have you guys gone to a listing appointment where you saw another realtor on their fridge? I've had multiple times where I've seen other realtors on their fridge, and they just a lot of people aren't very business oriented, so they don't really think about it that way on how we think about it. Like if your sister or your cousin or someone went to go buy or sell a house with you or someone else, I would be pretty devastated because I thought I did enough to get their business. But some people, they don't get that. So we're constantly reminding them, I'm in real estate, this is how I make my money through my network. But they think of it, some people think of it as that we work for a company, we work a 9 to 5 or whatever, and we just get paid that way. Which
Right,
is
just hourly.
Definitely not the case.
So no joke. I showed a house this week, and there was an agent on the fridge, like a business card on the fridge, and it wasn't the agent who was listing the home.
Oh,
Yeah, and I ended up
all
writing
the
an offer
time.
on it,
Yikes.
but I was like, because I saw that, and then I looked back at the sheet. I had the sheet printed out, and it just didn't match up. I'm like,
Oh,
this makes
crazy,
no
dude.
sense.
Yeah.
Man, there was one time I listed a house in Westlake, and she was an older lady, sweetheart, and we had a great relationship. And on the door, there was a door hanger with like a piece of candy, and there was a big time realtor in that area. And I won't say the name, but she's like, "Oh, I know him. He's awesome. He's such a good guy." And I was just thinking like, "Wow." And I was like, "You know, he's a realtor or whatever." And she's like, "Oh yeah." And then she's just like,
Oh, yeah.
no hesitation to use me though. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like,
Ego.
these people have had a relationship for years. This guy's been farming in this neighborhood, knows this lady by the first name. She talks to him twice a year. And I remember she was, I just called him, told him that, I bought and sold my home. I was just thinking,
Wow.
man, he was
Holy
probably not
shit.
super happy about
Yeah, he'd
that
probably
one.
be pissed. I mean, it just goes to show how good it is to make these right touches at the right times.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this guy could be talking to her, like you were saying, for years or just like every single day.
Right.
But if the one day he misses and that day
Exactly.
you show up,
Yep.
it's all you.
It's crazy. That's why just constantly, I didn't do really good my second year, was not following up with past clients because sometimes you just forget. And this year, just all the time, if I'm not doing anything, just calling a past client, checking in on them, see if they need anything, see if they need any contractors. And it goes such a long way. It helps so much. But no one really tells you that either when you first join, and you think you're always like a newer realtor, but like time flies by. I mean, you've already been in real estate for what, a year and some change now?
Yeah.
But it probably feels like you just got licensed. Like, it doesn't feel that long ago for me personally. Like, I feel like I haven't been a realtor that long. But we all already have database.
You've learned a lot, though.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely learned a lot.
It feels short.
It's a
It feels
lot.
long and short.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
You
no.
feel more comfortable doing it, too.
Oh, for
Exactly.
sure.
And talking about it.
Well, that's the thing too. Like when I first got licensed, I had a higher end client. So I met five of the top 15 realtors in one day. And it was my first 2 weeks. And once I didn't really know what I was doing, but once I met those people, after I was done with everything, they impressed me. They knew what they were talking about, but they were no different than any of us here. They're just well connected. They talk well. They know their stuff. They put their clients first. But after that day, I really knew I'm like, I can actually do this and I can do it on a really high level. I know I can grow year over end and get some of those big time clients because I don't think real estate is hard work. I just think it's very time consuming and it's all about who you're connected with.
So I'm going to tail that. So you've done some deals with some higher end clientele, right?
I would say, yeah, a couple.
Yeah. So is there like a magic formula that you used for that? Or is it just kind of the connection?
I think you create your own luck and you just one day, because you'll reach out to a bunch of people, try to get connected with different networks, and then sometimes you just work super hard to get in there, and every once in a while it just falls into your lap. But you have to shoot 100 times to maybe get one person.
Yeah.
But
But it's worth it, though.
oh, for sure.
Because those tail off each other, too.
Oh, and especially
Definitely.
with higher end clients too, you never know when they tell you, oh, hey, I have a realtor who's been my best friend for 25 years or whatever. You just never know when that relationship could potentially fall apart, or just their business relationship. They don't want to keep working together. So you just constantly stay in contact. There was a guy who was a very nice home, and he ended up going with someone else. We only met a couple of times, but I still keep in contact to this day. He sold a $5 million home. I thought he was potentially going to list with me. He didn't interview with me. He told me, hey, my mom has a really good relationship with the lady that we went with, which was totally fine. But even to this day, I still call him, ask him for advice, ask him how his company's doing, and we're like semi-friends. And especially when someone's on that level, you just never know how many times they're going to buy, sell. Especially the more I've been doing real estate, I've been doing some commercial deals too. So especially people who own companies or are always doing something, they're probably at some point going to buy commercial property or have a use for it. So that's why I've been trying to do a little bit of commercial too. I partner with my one sonar brokerage, Mike Passadin. So sometimes we'll just go 50-50 on them. I'm still learning the commercial world, but I mean, if I can help out past clients or clients have been trying to get for a while, why not? And then hopefully get the residential side down the road.
There you go. Robby, so when we first met, you were the guy with the $1 million listing. And I was like, how old is this dude?
Yeah, it was probably around that time when we
Right
met.
around that time, right?
Yep.
How old were you?
When we listed that house, I was 20.
20.
Yep.
That's insane. And how much did the house list for and then sell for?
We listed for 1.25 and it sold for 1.1.
And if I'm remembering right, you were the one that brought the buyer into,
Yes,
right?
Yep.
That's amazing.
So it just worked out perfectly. He reached out to me. I think we knew each other for about 3 years at that time. And I always kept in contact, and the house was on the market for a good amount of time. Finally, it went expired after years, and he texted me. He said, "How do you feel about listing this house?" And I was like, I'll definitely do it. And he even asked me too. He was like, "Hey, do you?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll talk about it more." So he texted me late, and I'm like, "Cool." And right before we stopped kind of texting for the night, I'm like, "Hey, I've already kind of made up a marketing plan for your house," which I kind of did, but nothing that I could actually show him in the past. And he's like, "All right, cool, send that over to me." I'm like, "Oh crap!" I'm like,
gotta make something.
I ain't got no marketing plan. So I called our marketing girl on our team, and I was like, "Hey, can we go in the office at like 7, 8 a.m.? Can we get this done?" And she got it done in an hour, something that I don't think I could have even made in like a week. I'm horrible with Canva. I'm horrible with like, even if I could make it look nice, like some of the wording and stuff, I would just tell her and she would just start typing it out. So it helps so much. Send it over to him. And the whole interview was on text, which was crazy. I thought he was at least going to want to like
Meet a person.
Yeah, meet in person again and like talk about it. So I just sent
You said
that
you've
over.
known him for 3 years prior to this?
3 years. Yeah, we met at a wedding that was actually at that house.
Oh, okay.
So, so then he said, "Let's do it." We listed it, got a ton of traction because it was off the market for a while. And then that buyer, so we listed it on Christmas Eve. This guy calls me out of nowhere, who I'm now really good friends with now. And he's like, "Hey man, saw the house. I got to get rid of some cash by the end of the year. I would love to look at that house." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "When were you thinking?" He's like, "Tomorrow." I'm like, "Christmas is tomorrow." I'm like, "Are you sure you want to see it tomorrow?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let's do it." Of course, I was newer to that price range, so I didn't ask for proof of funds. So I went there. I think we met at 1 o'clock. He was like 45 minutes late. Guy pulls up in a truck, comes out of the truck. He's got this colorful sweatshirt on. And he's got shorts on. It's snowing outside. And I was thinking, oh boy. I'm like, this guy's either the real deal.
He's got no money.
Yeah, he's got nothing going on Christmas, and I'm just showing him this house, taking hours out of my day. Because, of course, I had to get my suit on and get ready for the appointment. I knew the house in and out very, very well because I actually rented it out to a client previously. So I knew the house like really, really well. So I was very confident when he was going in. We met. He looked around for probably 10, 15 minutes. Super cool guy. Right off the bat, I could just tell I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's super serious. He's like, "All right, I'm going to go home, think about it, and make an offer." So I was like, "All right, cool." We went back and forth with him and the owner all night, and then we just kind of dropped off. We just could not find common ground. We were not far off. I think we were like 50 to 75 grand apart. So we were right there. And then we went on. I think we were like 3 weeks in, call up my buddies, and we did a video. Paid them, I think it was like $1,200-$1,300. And of course, as I'm paying them, I get a call from that guy. I'm like, oh no. And he's just like, "Hey man, are we going to actually get something done or no?" I was like, I mean, if you want to, let's do it. So I think then we negotiated for like another 2 days, and then he bought it cash, closed in like 7 days, and then gave the seller some time to move out. So
Wow.
Damn, dude.
we actually had that house listed right now too. So now that owner relisted it. So
Why is you listing?
he moved down to Miami, and just doesn't really have a need for the house. He sold his tech company, so he told me, hey, let's put it on the market. So he's trying to get the numbers up on Airbnb and do a lot of weddings, because half the house is venue space and the other house is just the house with 6,000 square feet venue space, and then probably about 6,000 square feet of the house.
Shit.
Where's it at?
Brunswick Hills, but it'll kind of fall under like Medina if you type in
Okay.
the address.
What's the address?
4001 Foskett Road.
Free marketing.
There you go.
What's
Buy
it?
today.
What's it listed at now?
We're at 175.
175.
So he's a little bit higher, but he's gotten a lot of numbers. All the numbers have gone up, and Medina County in general, land is just going crazy.
Oh, dude,
You guys see like Hinckley and even parts of Brunswick. I mean, it's crazy. Medina, like just to find a plot of land, like you guys probably get it now and again. Someone's like, hey, I would like to build a house out in Medina or wherever. Can you find me an acre of land for $100,000? Like,
How many acres is it?
He's got 17 and a half acres.
Holy shit.
Yep. Gated. The kitchen just itself, I think, is about like 1,300 square feet.
For the kitchen?
Yep. It's massive.
Holy shit.
What?
We got hunting in the back, tennis court, a huge pond.
Never have to
kayaks.
leave.
Never, no.
Literally a compound.
Yeah, exactly. So we even have plans too for if like an athlete wanted to move there or some kind of someone who needed something special there. Where the tennis court is, that could be transformed into like a basketball court or something cool. So
Nice.
there's a lot you could do too. But for that much square footage, it's not that bad of a price, and for all the acreage too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Got
So I'm
any
assuming
nibbles
there's
yet?
like,
Was that?
Any nibbles yet?
Yeah, we've been really close. I mean, we've been negotiating. We have a lot of people on the table, but just haven't closed anything. So it'd be a nice one to close for sure,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
especially in this market.
What's commission on that?
Probably around what I would take. I would imagine. I think it's about $45,000.
Damn.
So it'd be nice.
It's a lot of
That's
people's
sick.
year's salary.
Oh yeah, that would be very nice.
Just take a big old trip
Yeah,
to
for sure.
Cancun after that. Huh?
Yeah.
That'd be
be
super
nice.
sick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why last year it was nice to start off the year with a big commission check, which is very unusual because my first year in real estate, when I started that January, I don't think I had a single showing. Like it was just dead. Then last year I had that house, which definitely helps when you move through the year.
That's good timing too, because then you could just take
Perfect.
it easy, like
Oh,
no
for sure.
stress,
Yeah.
no neediness going into
Throw
the
it back
summer.
into your marketing.
Yeah, because I know
Cool stuff.
sometimes winters get brutal, and I know sometimes like
Oh,
you're
for
not
sure.
prepared for it.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the slow down.
It's easy to get lazy in the winter too. You know, when it's slow, it's easy to get lazy.
Oh yeah, when it's gloomy out,
Oh.
you know the snow's
Summertime,
falling.
I'm on it. I'm
Oh, yeah.
always just, you're out and about, like, want to make deals happen. And, but I've been better this year. This has been my best, like, most productive winter, I would say, early spring.
Good shit, buddy.
It's good, dude.
So how are you, other than at this point, just banking on the great relationships you've built through past clients, following up, just doing right by them? How else are you like finding new clients and building your business?
I do some online leads. Like, I'll take online leads here and there. Probably try to make it like about 30% of my business. So I'm still very young, like 22 years old. So there's not a lot of leads that I will not take at this point. I definitely have narrowed it down more, but I always think I'm like, if I keep pushing through all these leads, even the small ones, do the right things, 8 years from now, when I'm 30 years old, I think it will pay off big time. So,
It's a great mentality to have.
oh, for sure.
It's always about the long term.
Oh,
One of the first things I learned about you, and I'm not going to say names, but was that you DM'd someone who is, higher level, someone who's pretty well known, and ended up having a conversation and becoming good friends with him. I don't
Yep.
remember if he was a client or not.
yeah, he was.
But you just DM'd him out of nowhere.
Yep.
And this is an athlete. I'm not going to say who
Yep.
it was, but someone in Cleveland. How did what made you do that? Was that a part of your plan? Was it just I'm committed and I'm going to find a way to get more business? What made you do that?
Well, so I don't know if he even knows this, but when I did that, I had a super slow day, met with a loan officer. They're trying to meet with me. Obviously, I didn't even have any business to give away, but building a relationship there. And I got back to the office. You know, that first month you're making calls, trying to do the right things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Instagram and just DM a couple athletes. Say, hey, we have this beautiful house. My team leader at the time, Eddie Golden, had this awesome house on the water. I think it was like 3.5 million. And I just DM'd a couple athletes and never thought twice about it. I was like, there's no way that anyone DMs me back, let alone when they have like 1 million followers, are they even going to see it? I would assume not. You're probably getting so many DMs and filtering through stuff. So I didn't have my Instagram notifications on at all. I didn't really go on Instagram that much at that time. And I went back and I looked back and there was a DM from Andre Drummond. And I was like, it was like 2 or 3 new messages. And I was like, no way. At first I was thinking it was, I was thinking it was one of those auto things where it sends back their link to something. So I didn't really believe it. Clicked on it. He's like, hey man, thanks so much for sending me this. Can you send me some more stuff? Got all of his information, got his email, and just started shooting him off homes.
That's insane.
And I think about 4 days later, well, actually the only reason he saw it was because he said he was in the airport thinking of homes and was on his DMs and saw my name pop up and clicked on it. And that was it.
Again, right people, right time.
Place. It was
because those go right to the requests.
Exactly.
So he would have to like.
He went through his request and he was thinking of
That's
homes.
crazy.
He's got probably a 60, 70, 80
Oh, for sure.
plus.
So the timing was just incredible. It's like I say, like I got probably lucky, but if I didn't send it out, I would have never built that relationship. And yeah, I'll see him probably once a year. Cool guy. Good
You still
friend.
talk to him?
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I don't like to bother him too much.
What
He
was
plays
going through your
basketball, so-
mind, like, the first time you were going to meet him? Were you like...
Oh, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he.
God.
I remember I was actually at the. This is funny. I was actually at the house at Foskett. That was the first home I wanted to show him because I called up that owner, knew him pretty well, and was like, "Hey, if he potentially wants to rent your house, would you do it?" Because his house was up for sale. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Well, that was one of the houses that he was like, "Hey, this house is pretty cool." So I met him at that house, and he was probably 30, 40 minutes late. He was coming for practice. It was August. July or August. Definitely July. And I remember he pulled up in this nice Rover, all tinted out windows, came out of the car. I was a little bit intimidated and just couldn't have been a nicer guy. We just, right off the bat, just started talking about the house, talking about the Cavs. He was asking me actually a lot of questions about me and my career. And I actually, after that, we saw like 5-6 homes. So, and I think the lowest price tag was probably 1.5 up to $4 million. So I met a bunch of big time agents that day. They probably thought I was big time, but I really wasn't.
Did Andre know you were a new agent?
No.
Oh, he didn't?
No idea.
Damn.
He'll probably see it now, but yeah.
But you've been cruising since then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's like
Helps
7 foot, right?
Oh, he's tall.
He probably looked like a little pipsqueak.
Oh,
next to him.
yeah. Like, if I'm walking next to him, I'm so short. It's crazy.
Dude, that motivated me because when I heard, that was like the first thing I heard about you or when I met you. I don't know if you told me, someone told me.
Yeah.
But like every once in a while I'll DM an athlete or something
Yeah,
too.
you never know.
But yeah, like Odell Beckham's leaving, shoot him a DM.
Exactly.
You never know.
Why not?
Baker.
You never know.
Yeah.
Because if they have a bad relationship with the team itself, they might have a bad relationship with the relocation people too. I don't know how deep and far that would go, but if someone wants to leave an organization, if you wanted to leave a job, there's a chance that you might also want to leave it totally, just go with someone separate. So It happens. But I know they do have realtors that are there's one realtor who's super connected in that sports industry. So I kind of, after a while, stopped trying to always go after them. However, Keller does have a sports and entertainment division, which I need to start to get to part of, and maybe they could kind of help me down the road with that.
Dude, that's amazing though. Oh my God. So, Robby, I guess the big takeaway from like this entire podcast is you were an insane communicator. Like, you know when, where, how, why to touch people. Not in that way, but you know how to connect with them, right? And just from like hearing you speak, you're able to pronounce your words fluently and get your points across very effortlessly. So what are some tips? Like, how did you like get that way? Is it like, were you always like that, or was it something you worked on?
I would definitely give a lot of credit to my home inspector. You guys know him, Ulrich Sabo.
Yeah.
I did shoe sales. The first time I ever started selling shoes, I was like 13, I think, when I helped out. And then I was full-time with him for 2 years. And it was like the last shoe store where you actually put it on the people's feet, and we had like higher end shoes, and we were in Rocky River. The majority of people who would come into our shoe store were higher end clients, and no joke, there were people who it was harder to sell, that they would take longer to find shoes that they wanted than to actually buy a home, especially during that 2020 period. There were people who would stay there for hours, leave, come back. And I just gained so much experience from that, talking with those people, and every single day, 9 to 5, just selling shoes. I wasn't on a commission base, so it was just an hourly pay, but I knew from a sales point, it was the best training I possibly could have had. So I was going to college online, but I know I missed out on some stuff by not going to college or finishing college, but doing that while I was going online, at the time, I kind of understood it, but not to the level I understand it now. That like all of that helped me so much that when I went into selling homes, I was ready to go. Personality-wise, I definitely had a lot of stuff to learn though about the market. And
so were you always a like outgoing guy, like able to talk to people, make a lot of friends pretty easily? Were you always like that, or was that built?
I would say I definitely was. My first business, my grandpa bought me a bunch of Christmas cards and went door to door, would sell that. Used to sell popcorn, had a little car wash business, we'd go door to door. So I was super used to talking to people. But it's actually funny, I was better at talking to people who were way older than me than that were actually my age, because most of the time if I was going door to door, an adult would answer. So the community, and most people who buy homes are, I would say, 30 plus years old for the most part. And yeah, I think it helped me so much, even going into the shoe sales, which I was still nervous and learned a ton, and then going into real estate, which I've gotten a ton better with that stuff, but it definitely did help. As a kid, was kind of always in sales to an extent.
Just always talking to the older people, always talking to that crowd, that demographic.
For sure. And I think I really understood what they wanted to talk about and just understood them for sure.
Yeah.
Like people in their 70s and 80s, I get along with so well. Whenever I get a listing appointment or someone, let's even say 50 plus, I feel like I never lose. Even if I'm going against a bunch of agents, I always get it.
What do they like to talk about?
Just anything.
Yeah.
So
it's like their life.
Yep. Life events, the house. Usually talk to them about, you guys have family here on Thanksgiving, Christmas. Tell me about your first house. There's a lot of those people, they're selling the last house that they have. So I like to go in there and obviously pitch myself and pitch what we have to offer, but also just really talk to them about all the things that they've cherished at that house, because it's just super important to them. And I think it just helps so much in that listing appointment for someone who's been there 30 years. Because at the end of the day, we'll never understand that because I've never lived in a house for 30 years. But if I can kind of get to understand everything about the house and them, I think it just goes super far. And I think it just helps a lot, where I think some agents are going in there and they're just like hard selling.
They just want to
like,
get the sale.
Yeah, like they don't care.
This is it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this house will sell in 2 days, whatever. Which I think they understand that because they see the media. They know that homes sell quick. But I think you have to start off first and foremost building that relationship before we even talk numbers, before anything. So listing appointment, walk in, hey, can you show me around the house? They show me around the house. And then after that, it will probably just kind of lead into talking about random stuff from there.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like a tactic. Like people know to ask questions and try to learn about the house. But
For sure.
it's different from when you actually care and like you
For
actually
sure,
want to
yeah.
learn, which I know you do, especially, showing that you're truly interested in them, what they're trying to do and their history with the house.
Oh, for sure.
That 100% shows. Because if you're a lot of people just go in there with the end goal in mind. Just let me get this listing.
Yeah,
let me
gotta
get this
get it,
listing.
yep.
But you're actually like, it seems like you really just genuinely want to
sure.
know about them.
And most of the time, yeah, but I think, it goes for every age too. If you just show you're genuine, you actually care. Because I think there's a lot of realtors out there where they're like, oh, I just want to stay in that 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 range, which we're in Cleveland. So there's a lot of homes that are under 150,000. If someone says, hey, I want to buy a house for 60,000 cash, let's say it's an investment property, that is still a ton of money. Like $60,000 to drop on one investment. Plus, after they drop the 60,000, they're dropping what? Probably another 60,000 into the
Repairs
house.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
to get it ready.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that perspective, we're just helping these people, leading them to the best decision possible. And any sale in real estate is a lot of money, even over $10,000. I've sold the lowest home I sold was like $12,000. It was a trailer, but the guy paid cash. $12,000 is still $12,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Very true.
So
Wow. You sold a 12, didn't
I
you?
did sell a 12. It was a
You sold
doopie.
really?
Yeah,
Duplex?
Doopie on the east side, yeah.
Wow.
East
How bad was
93rd.
it?
It was terrible. The
Foundation caving
the
in?
foundation was caving in. The basement was bowed out, so you can literally walk into the basement from the outside.
That's
Did they just
crazy.
knock it down? Or
No, they're trying to jack up the house, and then they have to shift the entire settlement over.
You're basically rebuilding the
You're
house.
pretty much. I told them, I was like, it's going to take like $80,000 to get this house back into the shape you want.
When did you sell that house?
I want to say November last year. Yeah, November.
And they're still working on it.
They haven't even touched it yet because of the winter. He's like, I'm gonna get in there this week. I think this week, yeah. He's gonna get in there and try to fix it
Also,
up.
it's just been sitting there.
It's just been sitting.
Oh my god.
It sucks,
Jeez,
but
dude.
yeah, he wanted it, and I advised him not to because I was like, listen, buddy, like it's gonna take a lot of work, and he's like, I'll just do it myself. I was like, okay, you know what? If you can do it, you can do it. I'm not gonna argue, but
I know. All you can do is advise as much as you can. and
exactly,
Put your input.
yeah, man.
You work
Yeah.
with a good amount of investors, don't you?
Yeah, it's majority.
Investor Joe.
Do you like it?
I do, yeah. Some of them, yeah, I do.
Have you had to fire anyone yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the problem with the investment world, especially in Cleveland. Everyone says that they're an investor, and some of them are, but they will just eat up your time so much
Oh my God,
that it will
A
just
lot,
kill your business.
a lot of them from New York and Cali right now.
Oh, for sure.
Because they can't buy shit over
Oh,
there. I mean,
yeah.
they probably could, but like, it's insane money.
Yeah. Not at the rate here.
Yeah.
No, here you're getting
the
like 10%
wholesalers, you don't know
returns.
who's a wholesaler who is an actual investor. The wholesalers
I had
messing
to,
up
I had
so
to
much
shut
stuff.
down a wholesale the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he come off as an investor at first? And
No, I mean, he literally told me he was going to flip the contract.
would you
like-
tell him off?
I didn't respond.
I don't get why. Why not just get your real estate license at that point?
Dude, I don't know that they're trying to like pull tricks and like
Yeah.
make it so difficult.
Yeah.
I've never had a good
But
experience.
if you're buying an on-market property that's been sitting there for 30 days, what makes you think that you're going to then sell
Right,
it for?
yeah.
If it was up for 70 grand for 30 days, you're going to sell it for 100 grand.
Everybody's
And
seen
one's gonna you type in the address, Zillow will tell you, hey, it was listed this day and taken off the market this day. Like, no investor is then going to buy it for 100 grand.
I did look into wholesaling before I got my license.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a lot of people making money. I think right now, well, just because of inventory, I don't think there's a lot of people making money. And I think it's hard to actually be ethical as a wholesaler.
Oh, yeah.
You get in so much trouble. You know, even if you were
You're
trying
lying
to,
right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
you can't even. It's tough.
what do you mean you're lying off the bat?
oh, I'm buying this house cash.
Yeah.
You don't
I
have
got
a
the
single
contract.
dollar to
I'm going
pay
to close
for
in
that
30
house.
days.
Yeah.
No idea.
Nah.
And then you have 30 days to find an investor that does have cash and to sell it to him for $10K more.
Yeah, I didn't know if I'm sure most or a lot of wholesalers do that and say I'm going to buy this cash, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like some might be honest, but it's so hard because it's like, oh, I'm going to take this and sell it for more money, which you could do. If you
Right.
just listed
It has to be off market. Like, to make that work, it would have to be
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
market. There's no way
And the thing is, you're taking advantage of like people that are just distressed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they've got their divorce going
Yeah.
on. Like their dad just died. Whatever. They're like,
Yeah.
you know what? Just fuck it.
Exactly.
Just take my property.
It's vulnerable.
But
Yeah,
now,
vulnerable, right?
Everyone teaches a class now. You go on TikTok and someone's
dude.
like, "I was 20 years old and now I'm 22." And
Everyone's
I'm
got a class for
here."
everything
Just
now,
gotta
bro.
take. You gotta take my class. I
Got a
always just
class on how
laugh.
to take a shit nowadays.
Yeah, literally. There was a person who was teaching a class or whatever, and he was rich, whatever, lives in New York. And my buddy was like, no, he didn't live in New York. Like, he runs homes in New York, and he makes those videos on TikTok and YouTube and just gets people to
Join
buy
my
his
master
yeah.
class.
And there's always, like, I think they buy it from someone who then makes the material, and then you just market it.
Do you do sports betting?
I did the free sports betting, but I'm not confident enough to actually, like, sports bet.
My buddy Joey's really good at sports betting. He's probably going to be dropping a class soon. I've made some money
Sports
from him.
bet?
Yeah, I do.
Have you made money?
Yeah.
Is it pretty like enough
Like
money to?
what was it? 2 weeks ago, I won like $800-900.
Yeah, it's
Dang,
nuts.
that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that week straight of just power
The week
bets.
just fucking
my God.
That's
throwing
nice.
dollars down. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you still working off your free money, or did you lose all that?
No, I'm way past that.
Yeah, I lost my free money in just seconds. It was like a $200 bet, and it was just gone.
Yeah.
But at least it's not my money. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
It's free.
Just having
yeah,
fun
it's
with
free
it.
money. Why not?
Cool guys. Well, I think that wraps up this episode of Real to Real podcast.
Sounds good. Thanks
Season
for
3,
having me.
episode 1, I guess.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
me,
much.
guys.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
coming on, Robby.
Yep.
Dude, first one.
Awesome.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Hurry up and close the deal. Slow down my mind, my fragrance on and they love my smell. Slow down my mind.
Real to real. Are you for real?
That was fun.